G'day everyone, I'm the Red Scour. This is Red Scour Gaming. Today I'm doing my summary for my first draft of Bloomburrow, which I was pretty dang successful with actually, I think. I got 7 wins, 2 losses, and yeah, let's see what we learned, I learned from that anyway. Life Creed Duo did pretty well actually. I didn't do the math, but I probably gained sort of 5 life every game at the very least, and there would have been a few that I got even 10 or something. So Life Creed Duo, while not the strongest card on the attack, is pretty damn good on the long game. Maybe I got a bit lucky with 3 of them, or maybe I should have dropped one, but I'll think about that a bit later. Sonar Strike I got very good use out of. There were several times where my opponent attacked with whether it was their strongest creature or not, but they attacked with something pretty big that basically took out just for attacking. I didn't even have to block it. Plus I gained 3 life. Plus I stopped it doing whatever damage. So in a sense I gained, in some cases might have been even like 8 life or something, which and destroyed a creature. So that's good. I'd definitely go with that again. Valley Quest Caller didn't actually get quite as much use out of as I probably wanted, though I did get the Scry 1 trigger a few times. I think I only played it 2 games, was it maybe? But yeah, anyway, I'd definitely go with it again. It's pretty damn good way to spend 2 mana rather, and especially considering that I have a lot of creatures. I don't think actually there's any that aren't one of those creature types: rabbit, bat, bird, or mice. Oh no, there we go. There's one, Bone by Naruto. But yeah, gives almost everything. +1/+1. So yeah, it did very well. And look, as a 2/3 for 2, it's not bad, regardless of what deck it's in, really. Excuse me, that was my hiccup. A Gateblade Assassin, which is another thing that didn't get the buff from Valley Quest Caller. Didn't quite get as much use out of as you probably could, though I sort of stand by that you only have to attack with that once or twice, and even if you just chump block with it some other time, it's still pretty good. It's still done a fair bit of life balancing. Is that the way? Anyway, gained you a fair bit of life, and your opponent's lost some life, so it's pretty good. Bonebind Orator, I think mainly in this case, I just use him as a chump blocker and didn't actually get to trigger his ability from the graveyard terribly often. Though it's good to have at least the option, even if you just chump block once and never actually activate it, there's at least the thought that your opponent might have. In fact, I think there was one battle that I put him in the graveyard and my opponent basically exiled something from my graveyard, though don't quote me on that, and counted that as the target, so yeah, that's a good way to get rid of that effect. Starlit Soothsayer, probably not the best card in this deck, as far as most power and all that sort of thing, but the Surveil 1 really helped. I didn't get to use that ability probably as much as would be perfect, but that's alright. Patchwork Banner, I was a bit cautious, perhaps, of using that card at all, because I know that, at least in general, there's not many situations where a 3-cost add 1 mana of any color is good in a draft, but it's more the creatures I control of the chosen type was particularly good. I don't think I ever had 2 of them out at once, though yeah, even just 1 is pretty good, because there was, I think it was game 3 that I played Life Creed Duo turn 2, and then I played Patchwork Banner turn 3, choosing the bat as the creature type, which yeah is the most common in this particular deck, and so I attacked with the bat for 2, plus the life that he gained later on. So while it didn't exactly win me the game straight away, it did pretty dang well. Star Charter, I'm still a little not quite sure if that's the card I should have had. It did very well though, and there's plenty of cards in here, I think I said during the draft, that I can get out using this ability. So it is very good. the 3/1 toughness is a bit suspicious. I think perhaps I might prefer a 2/2, though with Patchwork Banner, it's a 4/2, which is pretty dang good, and I don't mind sacking it sometimes. Yeah, I'm still not quite sure how much I like or dislike it. Hazel's Nocturne I didn't actually use terribly often. I think I only used it once actually, but that little bit of my opponent loses 2 life was particularly good in that circumstance. And look, getting 2 creatures back from graveyard to hand is useful at the very least. I think in the one time that I did cast it, I didn't happen to do it at instant speed, but that's alright, nothing too bad about it. I'd go with it again, though maybe I should be playing it a bit more low mana cost focused, maybe. Thornplate Intimidator is probably the one card that I didn't really get much use out of. I think it was only game 8 or something that I basically got to play him to what you might call actual effect. Otherwise, he was pretty much just a chump blocker the entire time. Certainly not a bad card, but I just don't think in this particular case that he did terribly well. Seedpod Squire, once again, maybe shouldn't have gone with that, but in this particular case, it was a bit more focused on the whole flying bit, rather than the +1/+1 flying bit that it helps other creatures with. Because I was going, at least hopefully, trying to go Bat Tribal, and Seedpod Squire doesn't really fit into that at all. But the flying tribal bit helped a bit. I've got to stop saying bit so much. But it's good, at least in this particular set of circumstances. It's probably not worth the 4 mana though. But it's a bit hard to complain about anything when you've won this many games. Drift Gloom Coyote actually was good, but yeah, I didn't get terribly good use out of it, I would say. Might just be a little bit of bad luck in this particular case. Still happy with it. I'd still go with it sort of next time, similar situation. But yeah, might just be bad luck. It was certainly useful though, and was it last game before, that I got to basically exile the one big creature that my opponent was playing. So yeah, good in that sense. Not quite sure I want to keep it in this kind of deck, but anyway, we'll see what happens. Starfall Invocation though, is I got to play a lot more often than I would have thought, to be honest, and it was very successful, I would say. Not so much because I needed to wipe the board. Sorry, let me rephrase that. Not so much because you need to have more board wipes or something like that, but because I think I was able to use create a creature, or cast a creature spell rather, more effectively than my opponent would the next turn. I think Starfall Invocation is good in a creature heavy deck, is perhaps the way I should phrase that. I did get to play it, I think, even 3 times, and because I have that little bit of life gain in here, I could sort of go play that turn 5, 6, whatever it was, and then even if I don't win in a hurry, I can still gain some life with, say, Life Grid Duo or whatever over the next few turns, so I can sort of not die anytime soon. So yeah, it's definitely done well this time. Glide Dive Duo, yeah, it's good. It's a bit more the Bat Tribal bit that was particularly good in this. I think you've got to be a little bit careful playing that, because it is 5 mana for a 3/3 flyer. If your opponent can gain life, it's probably not that great, but I didn't verse much. My opponent could gain much life, so yeah, I think in that sense it did pretty well. I suppose while I'm going to, I should note that I'm a bit heavy on the mana curve, which Banner did help a lot with. Though it's also worth noting, and I'll just pull this up, that there was a lot of time that I could play a creature, even if it wasn't amazing, on turn 2, play some ramp turn 3, whether it's just land or another turn 2 creature, and then have something to do turn 4 or 5. So yeah, that was particularly good. Starseer Mentor, didn't get great use out of actually, but I think mainly because I played it, my opponent destroyed target creature, which is certainly not stupid. In my sort of advantage in that sense, it was, yes, destroy target creature, that's a good one to get rid of, but I still had a fair few other creatures out on the board. So I think I did pretty well with Starseer Mentor. I know that you don't need him out very long, and he can turn the game his way. As far as lands are concerned, Lupin Flower Village, Lupine. Anyway, this village, I did use its effect fairly often, I think, actually, because I don't have much by way of what to spend mana on after you've cast all your creatures and all that sort of thing. So that's a good way to get rid of that last 2 mana that you got nothing else to do with. Plus, those few times that I had perhaps a few too many lands, then that's a good way to spend that extra mana. Don't need it. Don't need that extra land anymore. So we'll go with that. So yeah, I'll definitely go with Lupine Flower Village, and Hidden Grotto. Yeah, as I said during the draft, it's not amazing, but look, that one time I use it, I'll use it well, and I don't think I've really got to actually. But anyway, as far as other cards, Brave King Duo, I'm glad I didn't go with. It's not in my tribe, and I think tribal is fairly important in here. I'm sure there would have been maybe one time that giving target creature +1/+1 would have been particularly good, but yeah, I can't really think of anything. Crumb and Get It. Yeah, once again, there might have been one situation that would have been good for that, but actually, I didn't. I didn't get blocked terribly often because I do have a lot of flying in here. In fact, what is it? Actually, it'll be better if I count in reverse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I have 5 creatures that don't have flying. The rest do. So yeah, I was pretty hard to block anyway. As far as the blue, because I was sort of considering it for a little while, I'm pretty sure that I'm happy I didn't go with it though, because there's, at least in those picks, there's nothing that jumps out at me as far as what to do. Maybe Eddie Merc Crab. When used effectively, it's a very good card, but yeah, I just don't think I would have had any situation. Psychic Wall. I'm assuming that's how you pronounce that. Warrel. Anyway, this card probably a lot better in a rat deck, and I don't think I would have got much use out of it anyway. So yeah, glad I dropped that. Sinister Monolith. I've heard mixed reviews about that. Some say, yeah, take it every time. Some say, no, it's terrible, don't ever go with it. I can see why people would go either side, but I think at least in the sort of Bat Tribal, a bit of life gain deck that I had, I don't think it would have been terribly effective. So, I mean, it's certainly not a useless card, but if you think of it as pay 4 mana, pay 2 life, draw 2 cards, each opponent loses a life and you gain a life, it's not terrible, but yeah, I can probably think of better ways to spend 4 mana. And yeah, High Stride, definitely not splashing green just for that. So, overall, I'm rather interested with how that went, because I got 7 wins, so I mean that at least statistically is pretty good. There was only game 2 that I think my opponent just sort of lost because it was terrible luck, and sorry that happens. But the rest of the time, I did well enough. Though yeah, I'm a little suspicious, if that's the word, that Starfall Invocation essentially won me 2 of the games, maybe. Though I played it, I think 3 times, but yeah, one of those times, I think it was game 5. It certainly helped, but I wouldn't say took over or anything. But the other 2 times, I did get to play it, and it was basically my opponent had run out of steam, and because I'm a bit higher on the mana curve here, like 4 and 5 mana, I can sort of go comparatively, whatever card I draw doesn't really matter. I can do pretty well, and especially seeing that that's 5 mana and there's nothing 6 mana, So yeah, I'm pretty happy with how that went. Not often that I win 7 games. So yeah, thanks for watching. I hope I get to show you my next draft soon. And yeah, thanks for watching. See you later.